party AIs claimed with a certainty above 90% that Prador were carnivores, hence the corruption of the word predator resulting in their name. But such ominous assertions about these creatures aside, they created, without the aid of AI, a spacefaring civilization, a workable U-space drive, and by some quirk of their development, it seemed their metallurgical science lay some way ahead of the polities. They didn't possess runcibles, which, by their very nature of being based on a technology completely at odds with the straight-line thinking of evolved creatures, required AI. From this, the Ambassador for Humanity felt there to be grounds for constructive dialogue. The Ambassador eagerly anticipated facilitating that dialogue for the technical, moral and social advance of both the human and Prador cultures. It was the kind of thing ambassadors said. Jebel remained highly suspicious, but then, as an Earth Central Security monitor, that came with the territory. "Their shuttle is now coming into dock," said Urbanus. Jebel wore a silver teardrop-shaped augmentation bonded to his skull behind his left ear and connected into his mind. He augured into the station network and confirmed the status of the approaching vessel. He studied some of the specs available and did not like what he saw. But at least the mothership still remained at an acceptable distance. He very definitely did not like the look of that thing. A massive, 2-kilometre-wide golden vessel, oblate and flattened with some armoured turret on top, many extrusions that were possibly sensory arrays but more likely weapons, and a hull that seemed likely to be armoured with an exotic metal only recently created by polity metallurgists, one resistant to much scanning, but most importantly, one with superconducting crystalline layers that slid against each other, making it resistant to massive impacts and most forms of energy weapon. He frowned, then also checked his messages, since more data might be coming through to him from other sources, and felt a sinking sensation upon seeing just how many awaited his attention. He would have to check most of them later, but one he opened immediately. 2 bottles of Virago champagne to complement a green prawn curry. Only one further ingredient required, Jebel Krong. "See you at 6, Sorella." Jebel realized he was grinning stupidly and quickly wiped the expression. One of the definite plus points of being seconded to the monitor force here was Sorella. He hoped this meeting would be brief and without mishap, for then the diplomats and the various Zeno experts could take over, and Jebel could enjoy a long-awaited break. Sorella was a good cook, and screwed like every occasion might be her last, and Jebel rather suspected he was falling in love with her. Now, glancing around at the gathered dignitaries, Jebel noted the ambassador chatting with a group of network reporters. Then he focused his attention on his companion. Urbanus looked like a Greek god, but one supplied with grey, nondescript business wear rather than shield and spear. His hair was dark and curly, complexion swarthy, eyes piercing blue. Jebel understood that Cybercorp was debating the merits of actually making their golem androids ugly, so the people who bought their indentures would not feel quite so inferior. Studying Urbanus, he understood why. The golem made him feel uncomfortable. Doubly so when he came to understand that beyond being better looking than him, Urbanus possessed a much larger knowledge base than himself, impeccable manners, and 10 times the speed of mind, body, and strength.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.